Hello, welcome to the SATEL Smart Vlog channel. Last time we talked about heating and today we'll talk about the risks that come with it. Yes, the heating season is a time when we should be particularly concerned about fire safety. I have a few tips for you on how to do this effectively. While getting ready for today's episode, I came across some worrying data. According to the information provided by the Ministry of the Interior and Administration, 1 in 4 Poles thinks that it is possible to detect carbon monoxide by smell or smoke. As you can see, awareness about the characteristics of carbon monoxide is nowhere near as high as we would like or even expect. So, let's start with the basics. What is carbon monoxide, also known as the silent killer, and how is it generated? Carbon monoxide is formed as a result of incomplete combustion, which occurs when there is a shortage of oxygen. Under such conditions, the fuel does not burn completely, leading to the production of dangerous chemicals such as carbon monoxide. An important point to note is that carbon monoxide can be formed not only when burning coal or petrol, but also organic materials such as wood or paper. Carbon monoxide is called the silent killer for a reason. Contrary to what 1 in 4 Poles thinks, it has no smell or color. As a result, it is impossible to detect it without a suitable detector. A small amount of carbon monoxide can already lead to very dangerous poisoning and even death. It doesn't have to be a lengthy process at all. It is enough to breathe the contaminated air for a few minutes, causing the poisonous gas to enter our bloodstream. Why is this dangerous to our lives? Because the human body needs oxygen, and carbon monoxide binds the hemoglobin much faster than oxygen and thus takes up its space. Without oxygen, our body stops functioning and vital functions are cut off. I'm sure you heard about these types of tragedies in the media, especially recently, since the heating season has started. What are the most common mistakes we make? In the first place, we forget to regularly inspect the ventilation system and chimneys and clean them. If you burn coal or wood, the inspection should be done quarterly. If you heat your home with gas or fuel oil, an inspection every 6 months is necessary. When I live in an apartment building, a chimney swept not on the flat door every year to inspect the ventilation system. This is because on estates, the building manager has a duty to take care of this. On the other hand, if we live in our own house, we have to remember this ourselves. It's very important that the ventilation system works properly because today's doors and windows are really very tight and hardly let any air through. Another common mistake is to cover the ventilation grill, to prevent heat from escaping the flat. You absolutely must not do this. Also, do not modify the air vents on your own. Remember, if you restrict the oxygen supply, you increase the chances that the combustion process will be disrupted, resulting in the formation of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide kills quickly and insidiously, so it is important to detect it as soon as possible. For that, you should use a carbon monoxide detector. Listen for key tips to ensure it works effectively. First of all, you should pay attention to the location or locations of the detector. It cannot be random. The detector should be installed in the room with the highest risk of the presence of carbon monoxide, for example, in the room where we have a furnace or a fireplace. I'll show you what it's all about using my own example. I have gas heating and a fireplace in my home, which means I'm at increased risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why I didn't hesitate at all and installed not 1, but 2 such detectors. 1 in the living room, where the fireplace is located, and the other in the boiler room, where the gas furnace is situated. This helps me sleep much more soundly, knowing that I and the rest of the household are safe. I've specifically chosen this model, a wireless carbon monoxide detector from SATEL. You'll also find a wired version of this device in SATEL's offer. And now for the most important matter, which is the exact place of installation. The detector must be mounted neither too close nor too far from the furnace or fireplace for the measurements to be reliable. The optimum distance is at least 1 meter from the source of danger, but no more than 5 to 6 meters. The detector should be mounted at the height of an adult's head, taking into account the specific features of the room. In my living room, for example, it is at a height of 160 centimeters. Yes, in bathrooms bedrooms, kitchens, or living rooms, a recommended installation height is between 150 and 180 centimeters. In the bedroom, on the other hand, where we sleep and therefore most often stay in a laying position, an installation height of approximately 70 centimeters from the floor is recommended. It is also extremely important to use certified equipment with a declaration of conformity. Be sure to ask the seller to show it to you before you buy a detector. Detectors from SATEL are of course provided with such a declaration of conformity. You can find it on the product page. Another point, before you decide to buy a particular detector, pay attention to the minimum concentrations of carbon monoxide it detects and how long the poisonous gas has to be in the air for the alarm to sound. Because it is not the concentration itself that is the issue here, it's more about the time. The concentration may be low, but if we breathe such polluted air for a long time, we will feel the first symptoms of poisoning after just a few hours. We'll start to get severe headaches, nausea, and vomiting will occur. Our muscles will weaken, and finally, we'll lose consciousness and our body will collapse. The higher the concentration, the quicker the symptoms become worse. SATEL's carbon monoxide detectors will report its detection even when its concentration is negligible, between 50 and 75 ppm. And if the concentration exceeds 120 ppm for 1 minute, the detector will immediately sound an alarm. This way, we'll be able to react before it's too late, because by comparison, a concentration of 12,000 ppm can kill a person in as little as a few minutes. But carbon monoxide is not the only risk which increases during the heating season. There is also fire. Common causes of fires include not only electrical system defects, but also the improper use of equipment designed for supplemental room heating. This is why it is so important to follow basic safety rules. For example, carefully use substitute heating sources such as small heaters using gas or other fuel, fan heaters, and portable electric heaters. Do not leave them unattended or switched on overnight. Use them for their intended purpose. For example, do not use a gas cooker to heat the room. Protect flammable materials such as blankets, curtains, furniture, and flooring from contact with open flames. Don't store things like paint, solvent, or petrol near sources of heat. In addition, just as in the case of threat of carbon monoxide poisoning, suitable detectors that signal the first signs of fire can help to react quickly and avoid the danger in time. For example, a smoke detector or smoke and heat detector. In the SATEL offer, you can find both these detectors in wireless and wired versions. The smoke and heat detector will raise an alarm when it detects smoke or a rise of temperature. Why is this a good solution? Because this is double vigilance that significantly increases the effectiveness of protection. Because smoke is not always the first sign of a fire. Sometimes it is the rapid rise in temperature that first indicates danger. This is the case, for example, when chemicals or fuels are on fire. With this detector, we can protect ourselves even more effectively, minimizing risk and gaining valuable time for reaction. We haven't mentioned one important thing yet. All the detectors we have discussed today can be integrated into an intelligent alarm system from SATEL, including Integra, Perfecta 64M, and B-Wave. When the detector is part of the system, additional notification possibilities arise. This is because the detector will immediately transmit information about the detected event to the control panel or hub, which can pass this information on using SMS or push notifications. And sure enough, the detector itself will signal the threat audibly and visually. But what if we are not at home? This is where the control panel or hub comes in and, for example, can inform not only us but also an external security agency, a neighbor, or a family member to take action. In addition, a suitably equipped smart system can also automatically cut off the gas and electricity supply in an emergency situation and open windows in the event of a carbon monoxide leak, thus limiting the adverse effects of a threat. We recommend having the detectors installed and integrated into the alarm system by a professional installer, who will also take care of the inspection and servicing of the devices in the future. Because, just like the mentioned ventilation system in the house, the detectors also need to be serviced regularly to ensure their reliable and effective operation. On the other hand, if there is no alarm system in the house, nothing is lost because, for example, the wireless smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors offered by SATEL can also operate autonomously. That is, without connection to a control panel or hub. They will be just as effective in detecting a threat and signal it acoustically and visually. I think we've touched on all the key issues relating to fire safety during the heating season. Thank you for staying with me to the end and listening to all my advices. The names of all the detectors mentioned today, information about compatible SATEL alarm systems, and links to detailed product specifications can be found below in the episode description. Take care and be safe. See you in the next episode. Bye!